And if you traded today, we're very successful. As always, I'm going to be going over the S&P 500 E-mini futures for today, Tuesday, June 10th. First off, I want to apologize for not posting yesterday. I just needed a personal day to think through some goals I have in mind and think through some trading things. But I will be posting the whole rest of the week. I have a good video for you guys today, a lot of fun price action. And as always, before I get started, shout out Al Brooks. His course will be down below. And a huge, huge shout out to my mentor, Troy H. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be trading this strategy or trading at all. So we start off today with a breakout triangle. I was thinking probably to the upside because we start off with a couple good bullish bars, and then we get this enclosing triangle breakout. And then you clearly can see that the breakout is to the upside with 9, 10, 11. And you could even say that 6 and 7 was the first leg up, pull back on 8, second leg here. But I really thought that this breakout would probably get at least a second leg with being 6 points up and breaking out of this contracting triangle. So once I saw the pullback failure on 12, trying to pull back and really failing, I got in there. Sat through a little bit of a loss on 13. If this would have gotten one more bear bar down, I would have probably tried to get out for a quick loss or try to get out break even. So I got in on 12 with the anticipation just to scalp 5 points or 5 to 10 points here. And that's what I ended up doing. I just got in for a quick scalp trade. I knew that this could have been just a third push, so I wasn't going for any home runs, just hitting a single. So we get a contracting triangle to start the day, push up, pull back 5 points that I got out on 15. Then we get a bit of a trading range reversal, trying to push through the EMA. And you guys can see here, let me go to the 15-minute chart, that I really had the thought process that 1 through 5 was a first leg up and that it needed a second leg. And I thought 6 was pullback, or on the 5-minute chart. Sorry, I got lost there for a second. On the 5-minute chart, I really thought that 18 was the pullback. I thought this was looked at as a one leg on the 15-minute chart. 18 was pullback. 19 got a really close with strong IBS in the high 90s, closing on its high, rejecting off the EMA. And I thought this had a potential to go up a whole lot higher. And I had the hypothesis in mind just to scalp a quick another 5 points, just trying to get a nice little snipe in. And then clearly my hypothesis fails on 20. So I tried to get out as quickly as I could on 21. I actually think I got pretty unlucky. And yeah, I hit my stop loss on the bottom tick. I would have been able to break even on 22. But unfortunately, 21 hit my 5-point loss tick. So then I was even on the day. And then the Bears, or the Bulls, are trying to push up with a second leg in the 15-minute chart, and they eventually fail and give up, and bar 25 collapses. I think it was probably maybe Bears trying to get back, getting caught in trade, or even this big push down at the bottom of the day yesterday maybe needed a huge pullback in a second leg. Not completely sure why this just collapsed here. Maybe it was a news bar or something like that. I didn't really look into it, but I was very lucky and fortunate that my stop loss did get hit, I guess, on 21, because I took a small loss instead of a big one. Another way you could look at this, and definitely the way it is on the 15-minute chart, is that you get a push up, a pullback, a deep pullback. This pullback fails. The Bears are trying to get out maybe of yesterday's push down, and then you get a second leg up on the 15-minute chart. Sorry. So you get this big push down, but it gets a lot of resistance, closing with low IBS. And yes, this is still a massive, over 11-point close, but it gets a double bottom, and then it ends up being a 3-bar microchannel up with good tick gaps, good micro gaps, closing on their highs, 28 would have been a decent entry. I thought about closing or entering on kind of this pullback close of 28, but it was still resisting the EMA, and I didn't really want to trade against this bar quite yet, which is with just how the volatility was at this moment. But then 30 gets a good close above the EMA. I should have probably entered in here. Good micro gap, 4 points pushes up, but I thought maybe it was going to try to push back to the EMA, reject it, and then I would have entered. But we end up getting a 6 bar micro channel up with good closes. And I really had the hypothesis that this was going to need a second leg. So when 32 kind of get this failure momentum, usually with big pushes like this, they either get really deep pullbacks or very short pullbacks. So I thought this might be a pause and then a trend continuance. I was a little worried that 31 may have been kind of a give up bar, but I still had hope that this needed a second push up. Maybe this reset the leg count. This is now 1. And yes, the 15-minute chart, you could argue that this was 1 pullback 2. But you could also argue that 10 through 12 was this reset the leg count. This was 1. There's a pullback here and then a second leg up. So that's exactly kind of what I was thinking. So I entered in on 32, and then I thought there was kind of confirmation of pullback failure on 33, and then 34, little more confirmation that the pull-up was now concluded, or the pullback was now concluded. So on 35, when it got a decent close, thinking that this was now a second leg up, I entered in a second contract here. Now the 15-minute chart still needed a decent, better pullback. This may have been an implied pullback on the 15-minute chart. So I was sure that maybe there was going to be a little bit more of a pullback eventually. But this ends up getting 3 pushes up. 1 pullback here, implied pullback. 2 pullback, 3. It actually ends up getting 4 pushes up. But once we got this pullback on 39, I was getting ready to exit, maybe up 5 points. But then 40 and 41 happened. I think my full take profit was towards the middle of the stick on 45, so it would have hit if I would have stayed in. But once I saw 42, we already had 3 pushes up, 2 pushes up on the 15-minute chart, and I was up 10 points. So I just decided not to be greedy and took my 10 points on 42 and got out with these 2 contracts. And yeah, it ends up pulling back again and getting a 4th leg up, hitting my full take profit, which was 20 points. But you win some, you lose some. I was happy to walk away with a good gain. Moving on, you then get a good trend reversal. And even though 47 is did close as a bull bar, I look at 46 through 52 as leg 1 down. So a very strong reversal on this trend, and this trend's very exhausted. It didn't only get 3 pushes up, it actually got 4 pushes up with a double top created by 46 with a great push down. 48 has a huge micro gap. We have tick gaps. Then it pushes through the EMA with a good micro gap on 51, and then gets another great push on 52. So I saw this pullback. I was kind of waiting to see a decent pullback, trying to maybe test the EMA and fail. 53, it did exactly what I hypothesized. I thought of 56 through 52 as leg 1, pullback failure to the EMA on 53. I entered in short, as you can see, the close of 53. And then it did exactly as I hypothesized, and it got its second leg. Dumping here, I got out for a full 10 points on 55. So now I was up 20 points on the day after that. We had 4 pushes up, trend reversal, 2 pushes down. As you can see here on the 15-minute chart, you could say this was 1 push up, deep pullback, 2, 3 pushes up on the 15-minute chart, or 1 push up, reset of the leg count from bar 9, and then 2 pushes up, 10 through 12, 1, pull back 2, 14, 15, and then a trend reversal. But this is still kind of trading against the market regime, and it got a good 2 pushes on the 5-minute chart. So I wouldn't want to get into this any later to go short. Definitely with this long wick of 55, there's clearly a lot of buyers below, and it also got a lot of bears out of their shorts earlier on 25. So it tries to push down, gets bears out of their shorts. Maybe they shorted on 26, expecting 25 to get a second leg. So they all get to get out break even here. So then now there's a lot of upward momentum. And then it kind of goes sideways, resetting the leg count. A couple just kind of going sideways, trading range, having a hard time breaking through either way, kind of just trying to decide if they're going to resume this bear channel that they have, or maybe restart the bull channel that's been a little bit more relevant in the day, relevant in the day. So then that's exactly what happens. I should have entered in on 64. Me and my trading partner were actually both talking about it. That would have been a great entry, and of course would have ripped up for an additional 20 points. But I missed that. This was kind of right when the trade talks had come out about the United States and China starting to get a deal coming together. Trade talks were going very, very well. So as soon as that hit, it was kind of a fire sale. You could have bought the close of 65 with that strong micro gap, made 15 points. You could have even bought the close of 66, even though it seems very climatic. I guess the huge micro gap caused it to go far further, but I kept on waiting for a decent pullback to get in on this new leg up. Because I thought this was leg one. I thought that was going to be leg one, 15-minute pullback, and then a second leg. And with a strong push up like this, it's either usually a short pullback or a very deep pullback. This ended up being a very deep pullback, unfortunately, and it did get its second leg. So you can see one, pullback two. Or on the 15-minute chart, you can see 20 through 23 was the first push up. It pushes back, tries to test the EMA on the 15, fails, gets its second leg. So I entered in on 69, not really seeing how climactic 68 was. And it was also just a forced trade. I should have been done. I was up 20 points on the day. That's twice my daily goal. I felt really good on the day. I had already kind of missed this. If I would have gone in on 64, that would have been a great trade. But now it's kind of forcing a little bit, trying to make stuff there that maybe quite isn't there. So then it ends up pushing down, and once we get all this kind of static, I'm just trying to get out, break even as much as the small losses I can take. And if I would have had a little wider of a stop loss, I would have been able to get out break even or even up a couple points on 78. But I decided just to play it smart. I got out down 10 points on 74, so I ended the day up 10 points, hitting my daily goal. So unfortunately, I had 10 to 15 to 20 points is what I should have ended with on the day, but just a little mental mistake seeing this huge rip up and wanting to get in on it, being a little greedy, cost me a little bit at the end of the day. But very interesting day with lots of good price action. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you made it to the end of the video, I will continue to post the rest of this week. Shout out Al Brooks, shout out Troy H, and thank you guys. Please leave any comments, questions, concerns below.